Boom. What's up, guys? How are you? Hey, we are 2 weeks away from Summit. And anybody who is has any type of Urban Young reference knows what our annual leadership summit. It is the Super Bowl of what we do every year. So I'm nervous. I'm got a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people in here working really hard to make this a special event. But more importantly, I'm excited. I'm excited for kind of what's going to happen this year. We're at a really cool stage in our business. But today we're going to go over to our second office over in Melbourne. This was one of the offices that we acquired about 2.5 years ago, and it's kind of tough. I'm in Orlando here right now. This is kind of home base for me, and I get to see these guys all the time, but I don't get to see the Melbourne crew all the time. So super important to just get over there and say hi and just take temperatures and make sure everybody's happy, and obviously just get an idea of what's going on and pour into people. I mean, and that's the fun part about what we do anyway, right? The relationships and the camaraderie between people. So plus it's just fun. It's a fun drive, and it's fun to go over there and kind of have a change of scenery. So we'll go take them to lunch and have a blast and kind of check in on everybody. So this will probably be the last time that I see them until Summit. Probably. So I'm hoping everybody's super pumped and anticipating some surprises that we have along the way. So it'll be a fun day. Let's go. This drive is like super sentimental. You know, we used to drive this when we first we bought Coverage Pro, which is an agency of Melbourne, about 2.5 years ago, and it was the biggest deal of our careers at the time. It was a massive undertaking. We still don't have everything figured out. We never will, but you know, at that point we didn't know what we were doing, but we just decided this was the next step that we needed to take. But it was a totally different office culture than what we have now. Literally the last 4 or 5 years, the revenues had been shrinking. So it was a turnaround. It had a lot of opportunities that came with it, but it wasn't what we were used to, you know. So we would drive this drive. We got to the point where we knew we had to be over here to reshape, you know, culture and be in it. So we rented a house on Satellite Beach for about a year. And Rod Tay and I would go back and forth all the time, and every 3 days we'd come back home. So this drive became like the drive where you try to figure everything out in your head, and there would always be something evolving, and you know, every decision felt like it was the biggest decision in the world to us at the time. And then now to drive it and have a team that's self-sufficient, have an office culture where people truly love each other and have fun together and are fulfilled, and to have a business that is now, you know, up into the right, it feels really good, and it's a good reminder that you don't have to have it all figured out. Like, so many of us think that everybody else has it figured out so they can do these things, and I'm guilty of that too. But sometimes you kind of just gotta get pushed off the cliff. Sometimes you gotta just take a leap of faith and go in, and then you just figure it out when you're there. So it's always super special to drive these same roads, you know, kind of get a glimpse into the future, if you will, and then kind of reflecting back of what it was. It's just night and day difference. I'm super, super proud of it. I'm super proud of us, but you know, it's a special drive. So. So you guys have been holding out on me the whole time? This place exists?
Hello, how are you?
Oh, nice to meet you. How are you? I was wondering why you always say River Rocks. There's so many options.
I know, I'm a habit, creature by habit. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you guys.
Hi.
Hi. Guys, this is Lorenzo.
Hello.
Hi.
All right, so we'll have everybody just, so just give your name again. This will be good. This will be Lorenzo will anchor it. So give your name, and then what your favorite moment of past summits has been, and then what you're most excited about for this year's summit.
Alex and I had our first
to our condo.
We had our first real bonding moment at Summit last year, and it was Summit for both of us, and we got stuck in the same suite, and so it was just kind of...
You almost burned it down?
Yes. So
It was like 2 a.m. and on that Friday night, and we were both,
Alex came and woke me up.
woke you up, and I'm like, let's make some bacon grilled cheese. And Sam was, okay, let's do it. I can make it, and decided to
We set the
make
fire
bacon.
alarm off. Security had to come up and
It
turn
was
it off.
so loud. People were of their rooms. Anyway, don't air that one because that's not part of Summit. But like, yeah,
That's perfect.
that was
Yeah. But I feel like that was like our
After
first real opportunity to like
bond
get to know each other outside of insurance.
on a real aspect though.
Yeah.
It was probably going over like what we actually do as a company was just the best part. The overall experience of it, like I came into everybody here, we read these books and they're great and they're gonna make you a better person, and you don't, I dabbled in personal development a little bit beforehand, but it really shows you what you do all year.
Right. Give you a bigger picture.
The bigger
idea.
picture, so like now I know what I want out of Summit and what I'm gonna do, and I think that's just the overall experience of
So
it.
that's what you're
Best
probably
part.
most excited about too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The overall experience.
What about you, Sam? Besides burning down the condo?
No. So last year being my first summer, I think, when you come in, it's just super overwhelming almost. There's so much energy, and it was my first time meeting the whole team like it'll be for Ashley this year. And so I think I just spent the first couple of days really soaking, and then it wasn't until like Saturday keynote that like it really started to set in like my purpose and like how I fit into the team, and how like my shield matters not to me but to the person next to me, and that's when everything really started to like make sense for me.
That's cool.
That was probably the most powerful moment of Summit last year for me. This year I'm looking forward to just actually being able to like breathe and understand instead of
Have some fun?
like the
Yeah.
shock. Yeah.
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 There's no choice to expect. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool. What about you, brother?
Hi, my name is Chris. My favorite part of Summit would probably be Rod's sales training. Like I love the first time I ever heard that. Like that was really like something that clicked with me. But I'd say just the overall, we're big about the event after the event, and that was kind of a big portion of that was Summit because we really got to have conversations with people that we maybe didn't, always get to, and the conversations when you're outside of work are just so much better. So that's really what I'm looking forward to this year is those same conversations, but with people that are new here too.
Those moments are super special because it's like you have a session. You get to go through maybe some self-discovery, and then like the conversations that happen revolving around that afterwards when you're just hanging out having a beer or something. I agree with you, man. There's something special about that. You get caught in a corner with somebody for an hour, and you learn something intimate about them, and you go through your experience for the day and their experience, and yeah, you're right. It's just a
It's
connection.
so much closer
Deeper.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. That's what's cool about, for me, that's what's cool too, is like Summit's about the only people that are there, those are the only people in the world that share that same experience.
Yeah.
Like you can't have that, even your spouse, you try to go home and explain it, but it's kind of difficult, right? Because they didn't experience the same thing you did. So instantaneously you have this bond with these other people that, you don't have with anybody else, which is cool. So I agree. The event after the event's everything, man. That's cool. What about you, Miss Christmas?
Hi, my name's Danielle. I am. So it's funny because each person said something, and I'm like, oh, that was such a great moment. Keynotes and the trainings. I was thinking about the independent trainings that everybody did last year. Tori
Yeah.
did one. Those are awesome.
Those are
but,
really good.
Robbie Sampson's speech, and I mean, I relate to his story so much. Some of the things he's went through, my family has went through. So what he said, just everything about him, I think that introducing to him and following what he does on a daily basis, I've learned a lot off of him, so I really was super excited about that. It was a little different to have somebody from the outside
Absolutely.
like come in like that, and so that was just my favorite moment of last year. What I'm looking forward to, I mean, it's a different year for me. Things have changed role-wise, and my position has changed, so my goals are different, and so my mindset's, it's just coming into that and taking all of the things that are said in a different way than I did last year. That's what I'm excited about.
Your frame of reference is different, right? So the way you process that information applies differently to what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's fun. That's great. Yeah, Robbie's was awesome. He's a stud.
So good.
I feel so blessed that he said yes to that last year, but also even more blessed that like now it's been like this really amazing friendship that spiraled from that. So that's super cool. Well, what about you?
Well, I don't have point of reference. Hi, I'm Ashley. I have never experienced Summit before. I think the thing that I'm really excited about is just being able to get like a different perspective on kind of the big picture. I've already absorbed so much over the past couple of months from just our little, our little corner, but I'm just really excited about getting a different perspective, connecting with, the rest of the team and learning things. There's so much I know I don't know. So I'm really excited about just absorbing all that and getting kind of more of the big picture. I think it's going to be great.
It's awesome. Well, I know everybody's probably excited that you haven't experienced it yet.
I know.
Because it's always fun to watch somebody go through stuff they've never gone through, so that's awesome. So we're super pumped you're here. All right, what about you, Superstar?
Oh man. One of my favorite memories that I literally can remember every bit of conversation is my first summit at the event. After the event was a conversation that I had with Rod. And in that conversation was for the first time I felt that I was just me and I was a part of this team that just had one common goal, and I felt so, I want to say like safe almost, but it was just like where you felt like you belonged and like what you were doing and who you were, where you were contributing was something so much bigger than just you. And so that conversation just, I'm still to this day just is one of my favorite moments. And then, last year I feel like I didn't put in a lot of effort into those conversations that I had so much at Summit the first time because I already knew everybody, and so I felt like I could kind of back off a little bit. But this year my goal is to really put more effort into those conversations because those are a huge part of what I remember from Summit. So.
That's cool. Do you think that has to do with the fact that you were more curious and so you asked questions, or do you think that because people engaged you because you were new, or do you think it's just random?
I think it was every bit of what we went through with the acquisition and people just saying, hey, trust, hey, trust, hey, trust.
Got it.
And then it was finally like that trust finally set in and you realized what you were trusting in.
So it's like an exhale.
Yeah, like a sigh of relief. Like this is why I just held on a little bit longer and waited till Summit. So
that was an experience, man. There was a lot that happened without really.
Yeah.
You can tell somebody something, but you just don't know. And that was a very stressful situation because there was so much changing all at once.
Right.
And you guys didn't know us from Adam, so we hadn't earned that. We haven't earned that trust yet, too. So between the office changing and then you going out on maternity and personnel changing and it's just a lot. It was just a lot. So I'm sure that was kind of like, okay, cool. That's cool. Well, my favorite moment of Summit was a moment that Matt Eckberg, it was really good, thank you. It was actually at the Civic Center in St. James City. I'll never forget, at the end of the session or whatever, he got up and presented Taylor, Rod, and I with these plaques. They're like these picture frames with leadership quotes on it. And each leadership quote had to do with kind of our personalities. It was really thoughtful. It was really awesome. And it was, obviously you weren't expecting it, but it was really unique to all three of our different leadership styles because all three of us have very unique leadership styles. And I just remember it was special. It was awesome. And I'll probably embarrass Taylor, but he'd probably tell the same story. And everybody left, and literally Taylor just started weeping, like weeping. And my brother doesn't cry a lot. I'm the crier, so he was uncontrollably. And we're all just like, dude, are you okay? What's wrong? And he looked at us. He's like, I finally understand why this matters. I get the heaviness of this responsibility and of what we're doing here. And even when you're in a leadership position, you're doing something with intention, sometimes you don't fully grasp, the impact that you can make. And here you had Matt, who was working 2 jobs when he first started with us. He'd come in with 2 monsters in the morning. He'd work till 2 in the morning at Bonefish. He'd come in at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and he'd do that over and over again. There was nothing. He was just purely just trust and faith and belief. And here we are now. At this point, it was probably 3 or 4 years later, and you just saw the impact that had made in his life. and how it was reciprocated. It was a really special moment. And for it to happen at the Civic Center, where we're going back, you know, this year for the summit, I'm just really looking forward to that. You don't know what memories you're gonna make until you go through it. So I'm excited about just the memories that we'll make this year comparatively to where we were when we were there last time. So yeah, super cool. Awesome day. Just got done with a really good lunch. Got to catch up with everybody. So much excitement going on with Summit. I'm pumped. Everybody else is pumped. Really cool to hear everybody's stories of last year and kind of years before that. So, man, it's gonna be fun. This office is cranking right now. The chatter everywhere, people on the phone, things going on. I want to show you real quick, but there's just cool stuff happening. All right, so what are you doing, man?
What am I not doing, man? Taking over the world?
Listen, this guy came over here in January, moved his family, came over here to this marketplace, didn't know anybody. We just did a kind of a strategy session on kind of what's happened over the last year and what's happening this next year. And I could, total superstar, so excited to have him, man. So, and I know he would just tell you that he hasn't even started yet. So, really excited about next year, man. It's going to be a good day.
Thank you, man.
It's going to be good, man. Did a good job. It's awesome. Good stuff. See you guys.
Bye. So good to see you.
See you too. It's awesome.
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna be so quick.
I know. It's going to be good.
So ready.
Amanda?
Bye.
I'll see you soon. That's literally like my favorite thing to do, honestly. That's like the juice of building anything and team building. We get so busy with everything that we're doing and everything that's going on and strategic initiatives and customers and vendor relationships and fire drills and everything that's going on. It's like you wake up and you didn't do what was really the important stuff, which is pour into people, build relationships. And I think we're all guilty of that at some point. You don't wake up one day and go, oh, today's a good day to go do X. And just simple things like taking a team to lunch and hanging out and just talking is such a big deal. So how many people have just work and then they go to work and then they have their personal lives and they're just completely separated. And when you're able to kind of mix those together, it's special. And that's kind of where the magic happens. At least that's what I feel like, where the magic happens. But that to me makes it all worth it. It makes it about the people and it doesn't make it about just the business itself. So super fun. A trip worth it, you know. Super, super potent and jam-packed and everybody's super pumped about Summit. So that's exciting. We got what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks left. So that'll probably be the last trip I take out here to see everybody. And the next time we'll see everybody will be down in St. James City, prepping for an awesome weekend. So you guys are awesome. If you like the video, like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. So we'll be doing a lot more of these. So bye-bye for now.